it's Supermoon Tarot here, back at it again with another pick a card. Today's video is going to be about October predictions. As you can tell, I love October. I love Halloween. Something about fall in general just gives me so much energy and puts me in the, puts the right foot forward type of feeling. It's almost like the spring of winter. You could see it as that. Now in today's video, I'm going to be covering 4 different subjects and topics. The first one is going to be money. I'm going to be either looking at maybe money's coming your way in general, like an amount, or if it's something career oriented. I'm going to be talking about love, and that does range from both people who are single and couples, because this is a general reading. We want to make sure everybody's included. I'm going to then be talking about spiritual advice, if tarot or your spirit guides have anything in particular that you should be paying attention to or focusing on this month. And last but not least, the 4th subject is going to basically be a question mark, because it's kind of like, hey, do you have anything else left to say, tarot? Do you want to reiterate anything if it's extra important, or kind of summarize anything? And that's when that can be answered at that part of the spread. Now, I want to say before I get into this that I am in the best mood. I just am. I'm feeling so good. Like I said, summer is basically ending, which I'm so appreciative of, because my air conditioner leaked, no joke, about 7 or 8 times, which was terrifying, and somehow I survived it, so I'm very excited to not have to use my air conditioner anymore. But I want to take a moment to address that you guys are so nice to me. I don't really know how to thank you enough, whether it be the absolutely kind, open, loving, just completely supportive but willing to put yourself out there type of comments I get on my YouTube videos, or when you guys approach me for private readings. Some of you guys say the nicest things to me, and let's just put it this way. I always try to put my best foot forward, and I hope for the best, but to actually receive it, and in such a quantity, it's very overwhelming, and it makes me cry. And the best way I can put it is, I do not feel negatively towards the human race. I feel generally positive and hope for the best for most people. But when you get this level of sincerity and vulnerability, and you just really get to see how beautiful each person is individually and like their journey they're going through, it just takes you to a whole nother level of having faith and feeling restored in your belief in humanity on like I said, another level. So I'm just feeling very energized by your motivation and inspiring words you're sending my way. I hope you feel the stuff I'm sending your way too, because I'm sending some good vibes your way as well. I'm incredibly appreciative. I just can't express it enough. I do not read these comments and letters and they just go, oh, that's nice. I mean, it really means something to me. So thank you again. I can't thank you enough. Thank you for 5,000 subscribers. I don't know what's happening. I'm very thankful. I will just go with it. I'm going with it. Thank you for 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to put that out there. So I hope you're picking up the good energy and good vibes I'm putting out your way. Thank you for what you're sending my way. And now let's focus on picking whatever tarot deck you most connect with, feel most connected with. We've got group number 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have the different groups and decks time-stamped in the description below. Pick your group and deck, and let's get started with group number 1. Group number 1. Let's figure out your October predictions, and let's start off with money. Your first card is 6 of Swords in reverse, the Fool upright. I don't know if you can hear it. Hold on, let me just finish putting this down. 10 of Swords upright. I don't know if you can hear it. Sorry, this is a totally side note, but I actually have this sparrow that comes and visits me every day, which is really cute. I don't know why. It's really beautiful and I love it, and I can hear them getting prepared to come visit me. I can hear them nearby. So if you hear that, they're saying hi. Okay, so now let's switch to your job reading currently, because this is a job reading. Now remember, this is a general reading, so this refers to people that are both unemployed, which I might add is a recent situation, or people who are currently at their job. Either way, it's not great right now, which is the Ten of Swords. In the Ten of Swords upright, I can see that the way you left your job was not great. There is even a sense of betrayal in this. Someone really screwed you over. Either way, you feel it wasn't just like, oh, well, I left my job. I wasn't where I wanted to be at right now. You potentially could have even gotten fired, and either way, you feel very sour, and you didn't like how it ended, and it put you in not the best place mentally, I might add. For people who are currently employed, this is just, you're not really happy with where things are at right now. Again, it's like you lost the fight, but you're still having to, you know, your corpse is being pulled through and carried with the rest of the army. So it's not super fun for you right now, and you're definitely thinking of changing jobs. And that's actually what the spread is about for both situations. So now there are two paths both unemployed and employed people can go when it comes to looking for their next job. I'm going to give both because both are more dependent on your mindset and your past workplaces you've been at or career choices you've made. So either way, we have this wall. This is what it feels like. It feels like, how can I possibly get through this situation I've just been through? How do I get to a better place? It just seems like the cards are stacked up against me, or in this case, the bricks. So either way, with the full upright, this is going to be a risk. It's going to feel like a risk. It's definitely a leap of faith type of situation, because you're not only going to have to jump over this other wall, jump into this new work situation, you're not going to know if there is a hole on the other side, how it's going to go. Now, I do have positive news that it will go well, but either way, just know that if you feel very scared going into trying out these, like going to look for other jobs and stuff like that, and you feel very scared during the whole process, that's actually really normal for you this month. Just go with it. You're meant to feel this way. Because this is I'm the only reading for October, I think that sense of fear is going to lead to a really positive thing and just like pull you out of your current situation you're in. So the two different options you have is in the full upright, this talks about taking a job that you've never worked in. It doesn't matter what your degree is in. This is a job that has nothing to do with your degree. You have no work experience in it, but it talks about when you take this job that you don't have a lot of familiarity with, you will do well at it. Sometimes that is the case. It's like finding out a secret ability or talent you didn't know you could thrive in until you were in that particular situation. The other option you have in the Six of Swords in reverse is going back to an old position. There's something there waiting for you. The reason why I give these two different options is Spirit is telling me there's a very strong pull from both, like, because again, this is a general reading, there's a lot of you that are like, you know what, I have been thinking about this old job I've been wanting to go back to. I regret leaving it. Or, you know what, I don't really have a lot of work history. Like, the last job I worked at was as a barista. Now I'm in a more formal work environment. I don't want to go back to being a barista. But, you know, I've never worked in the video game industry before. I'll try that out. That kind of mindset. Either way, just know that with the Six of Swords being in reverse, it is going to be a slow process. It's not like you're going to immediately get the job and immediately everything's going to turn around and be amazing. It's going to feel slow. That's what makes the whole feeling of risk feel even more scary even after you get the position. But know that that's fine. You're being slowed down for a reason, to get familiar with your job and to kind of adjust after having such a bad, tumultuous ending. So just kind of know that, like, welcome the slower pace. You need it. You need it to heal. So now, let's pull these cards away. I'm going to just push them over here. Now let's start with love. Can you see my really terrible heart? Okay, we've got Eight of Cups upright, Seven of Swords upright, and King of Cups in reverse. Okay, so something I want to mention, because I haven't pulled enough cards in this spread yet, and the thing that's so interesting when I do my monthly predictions is a lot of the spreads tend to influence the other. So as I pull more cards, I will have better insight on this one in particular. And what I want to mention is I'm not sure if this is you or this is your partner. So I'm going to leave that a little bit vague as I go into it, and if it comes up again in the spread, we'll get more specific about this. So I can tell for single people, first off that in the Eight of Cups upright, you're going to meet someone from out of town. Now, there is the off chance that you will be traveling this month due to your job, or maybe you go on a trip or something and you meet them from out of town. But Spirit is directly telling me, no, this is going to be a situation where you're out and about and somebody is visiting from, I mean, this could be anything from a different state to a different country. It's a pretty wide range, but either way, they are someone that is, there wasn't even a possibility before they could have been in your vicinity, which is why you're running into each other now, which is really awesome. Now, again, still continuing the single part of the spread. The thing that's really interesting in the Seven of Swords upright is, so you clearly go on some dates with this person, but you seem kind of like you're withholding yourself a little bit. You are not, this isn't a situation where you just are flooding with emotions and affection. You're telling them all your deepest and darkest secrets. You're going into the relationship, and as you continue to date them, there's a holding back situation where you're definitely have your guard up and are aware of what you do and do not want to share. But again, this is where the I can't be specific at the moment with the King of Cups in reverse. Are you holding back because this refers to somebody who is kind of emotionally, I don't want to say immature, but we'll just say not at the moment ready to be emotionally accountable, emotionally able to handle the depths of being open and fluid and handling the good and the bad. Think of the opposite. They're just not in the good place right now. Are you withholding because this other person isn't ready? Or, and again, we did talk about the Ten of Swords upright and how your job didn't work out the way you wanted it to. Are you withholding because you're not in the best place? And this is more of a wise decision. This is not an insulting thing. This is just like you're aware that you're out and about and dating, but, you know, you're not exactly ready to put it all out on the line yet, which is just a smart choice. Remember, this month for you might be a theme of slowness and healing, which is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Our bodies just somehow know how to take care of ourselves, and Spirit's trying to always guide us in the most natural way for our path to go. Now for couples, Hugo has some good news for you. So again, this talks about being somebody who's not really listening. It seems like you guys have had some issues in the past as a couple. This is somebody who there's been some difficulty in the relationship when it comes to both of you understanding what the other one is saying, and it has caused both of you to pull back a little bit. There's a little bit of a, now this can refer to both of you, or it can more refer to you can tell they're not paying attention to what you're saying, so it just makes you feel like silly for being so open and telling them your hopes and dreams when you don't feel like they really get it. So there's this kind of pulling back feeling. Either way, this isn't the most fun place you're in currently right now in your relationship, but the good news about this month is, and it totally works with October, because October with Sam Hain and other stuff like that is all about change and rebirth and stuff like that, is you have the Eight of Cups upright. This talks about how you will be leaving that behind. And I don't mean relationship as in a breakup, I mean as in leaving that problem behind. Finally, there will be some sort of breakthrough or connection, whatever it is. This issue is going to be gone, and you can both move forward as a couple. And this is where it gets really cool. The reason why I love Eight of Cups is it's about putting this issue fully behind you in the past. It's not just communicating about it and getting it solved, it's about not having to deal with it ever again. So really positive for couples, and for singles, I would say it's positive too, but definitely be aware that if you feel regretful or guilty for not being able to give your all into the relationship, that's totally okay. That's what you're meant to do right now in this month. You're just meant to take care of yourself, it looks like. Okay, now time for spiritual advice. See what your spirit guides and stuff have to say. Yep, yeah, you're definitely healing. Nine of Wands, upright. Okay, the World in reverse. Yep, King of Cups. I just That is so great. One thing I love about tarot, and especially my spirit guides, is they're a little cheeky with the way they talk to me and deliver information. They will often throw it in my face very directly multiple times so that couldn't be clearer with me, which I really appreciate, but I always do have to laugh at their directness, which is, it's like, I'm listening. So anyways, what your spirit guides especially are saying is, yes, you're currently not in the best emotional state right now. It looks like you're healing. Now, to give you some reassurance, because sometimes it helps us with closure and feeling good when we're not in a great place, that our emotions are valid. Now, our emotions are always valid, I will mention, but especially with yours in the Nine of Wands upright. So this is different than the Nine of Swords in reverse. So that card is about this idea of defensiveness and anxiety, but in a very, like, in your head, you're making it up, you're kind of hypochondriac sort of way. Nine of Wands upright says you are being defensive, and for good reason. You have been attacked. You could possibly be attacked again. There is a reason why you've become, not paranoid is the word, just defensive. You're getting ready to protect yourself, and you for sure have your guard up. We talked about this in the first part of the money spread and what you've been through, as well as the relationship and how you're kind of handling this next little person you're dating. But there's some good news. There's a bit of advice, and there's some opportunities I can see Spirit's going to be throwing your way. So Spirit's going to be throwing your way in the World upright, or I'm sorry, in reverse. And I do want to mention, it's important you do take it, is an opportunity to get out of this mental place. You've built up your own little castle. This to you is now the norm. You can't even fathom the idea of not thinking about preparing and protecting yourself. So the World in reverse is Spirit's way of giving you some sort of opportunity. This could be anything, but it's going to completely take you out of this mental state and pull you out of your world to kind of give you a bit of a refresher is the best way I can put it. Now, you are given, also I do want to mention though, sorry, I'm just thinking about how I want to share this information. The World, by the way, in reverse is also about overcoming a bad mood, which is really great. So all signs point to you moving in a positive direction emotionally and finally starting to see little hints and clues of not feeling like this defensive person anymore. So keep following that, follow your opportunities. The opportunity could be the job that you're given in the future, as we talked about before, but this can also refer to someone offering like, hey, do you want to go out of town and go for a little fun like staycation somewhere or whatever. Either way, you want to take a hold of this to get you out of this. But this is something important I want to mention in the King of Cups in reverse. This is about someone who is not listening when it comes to advice being given to you. This is something important that Spirit is pointing out specifically to me, and they're really making it a full attention. This is not a criticism or a critique on your nature. It's more understandable that you're not really in the, you're not prepared or able to hear what other people have to offer. You kind of need to get yourself grounded and reset before you can even get to that next level of healing and evolution in that way. So that's understandable. Spirit's not insulting you in any way and saying like, stop it, you gotta stop doing it. It's more making note that this is starting to become a habit, and Spirit is worried it will become a habit, and you will start to close yourself off even when you feel better and not be willing to evolve through the advice of others. So they just want you to start making the steps forward where you do hear what other people have to say. It doesn't mean always. It's just maybe say to someone, hey, I'm not ready to hear about it now. I need a second. But let's talk a little later when I feel a little bit better. Either way, I see you positively moving forward this month in the right motion. It looks like Spirit's definitely on your side, helping you, and understands where you're coming from, and just wants you to be aware of things that could become a bigger deal in the long run. But I think you're safe. You're only being, hinted at or told about it right now. So you've got plenty of time to work through that. Now let's get to the question mark. Sorry about that. My little sparrow friend came and visited. I went to go say hi to him for a second. So sorry, I'm back. Going back to the question mark part of the spread. Okay, so we've got 6 of Wands in reverse. 2 of Swords upright. And 2 Two of Cups upright. Okay, so this is really, I know this isn't the spiritual part of the spread, but this feels very heavily spirit influenced by your spirit guides. Spirit's actually telling me right now they are stepping in again, so this is really interesting. So it seems like your spirit guides and just like you are being like lovingly guided and told into a better direction, but it's super important you pay attention. So the reason why this is so important is it reiterates a lot of things we were talking about before and all the potential and sort of like, I don't want to say warning because you're totally fine. It's more just being aware of you're going to have to push yourself a little bit to start moving in the right direction. So Six of Wands talks about this idea of all these opportunities coming in, you getting a new job, you either meeting someone or moving forward in your relationship, all this stuff, but this feeling of coming to a dead halt, like what's preventing it? What's making all of this opportunity and growth coming your way slow down? Well, unfortunately, in the Two of Swords and upright, it talks about you. You're in your own way. It looks like you're stuck, understandably so, contemplating like, can I handle this? Should I go in this direction? There's a lot of overthinking mixed with, or would it be better if I stayed back? I don't know if I'm ready. You're so kind of stuck in your own mind, and in itself is becoming its own obstacles. You're not aware that you might not always feel the best when you're given the best opportunities, because there is a lot of opportunity this month coming your way, and it doesn't just feel like opportunity, things that you can benefit from as a person. It's almost like sometimes we can learn lessons in life that aren't always harsh. Sometimes lessons in life are given in a really positive way. And by you receiving all of this good stuff coming your way, that's the lesson. It's accepting the good stuff. I know this sounds crazy, but sometimes we can't accept good stuff. That's what keeps us blocked from receiving it. And weirdly, you're being thrusted, you're being thrown in that direction. So definitely be aware of if you're preventing yourself from, are you slowing down your own progress? And not to overstress that, but try to at least get out of your own way. Because again, this is where we get, again, a hint and an inkling, something to focus on this month, but also a lot of positive stuff. Again, Two of Cups talks about how, Two of Cups upright, yes, does talk about the success you will have with your current, if you are currently in a relationship, how that's working positively and stuff like this. But this also talks about the harmony within ourselves, you know, our shadow self and our light self. And you need to kind of really connect to and embrace, and this is where I think why Spirit's popping in again into this part of the spread. You need to be connected to the idea that the good or bad and the shadow and light versions of ourselves are meant to work together harmoniously. It's not about being guilted or sad or mad at the part of ourselves that feel jealous or angry, or if we don't feel like we're in control of our emotions and ourselves. That's not to say like, I wish this would go away, I wish I just feel better, I wish I could never see it again. You can use it to your benefit. You can harmoniously work with it and use it to your advantage. And the sooner you kind of accept that part of yourself and say, you know what, I don't feel great, or you know what, I accept that just this is what I'm dealing with right now, you can start working with it. So either way, don't worry, it's still going to be a great month, but you are being told to, you know, pay attention to when opportunity is given to you and at least not get in its way. Make some steps forward to be a little more open and perceptive to what others have to offer, but in no way, shape, or form is it criticizing you or saying it isn't understandable you are healing. You know, you should heal, you should take your time. It is meant to be slower. It is a time period where you're taking the steps forward to feeling like a better you. And feeling better and changing and self-improvement can be a really fun journey within itself. So definitely look forward to that, because not only are you going to enjoy that journey, but you're also going to receive a lot of benefits along the way. So really good, really positive. So if you enjoyed this reading as much as I did, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. It helps out like you would not believe. I'm sending you the best vibes, wishes, all that good stuff. And now let's get ready for group number 2. Group number 2, let's look at your October predictions, starting off with money. First card is Page of Cups in reverse, Two of Pentacles upright, and Justice in reverse. Okay, so I can see in the Page of Cups in reverse, you're going to be receiving a small opportunity to make money. Now, when I say small, I'm more referring to not only the quantity of money, you'll get a little extra money, and an opportunity to make that little bit of extra money, but this is an opportunity that does not have longevity. So this isn't about a promotion. Think of this job, and we're just going to give an example, and we're going to go with it for the rest of the spread. But remember, this is an open-ended concept that can come in any way, shape, or form. This could be pet sitting, dog walking. If you have a formal kind of office job, this could be a bunch of little tests to take to receive a bonus. Whatever it is, you're going to be offered it, and you will take it. I promise you right now, it will just seem like, oh yeah, why not? I've been looking to get an extra little money. I'm not getting a promotion right now. Why wouldn't I want to make an extra chunk of money? But there comes a warning in both of these cards, but not necessarily a warning. It's like a letting you know the situation after it's too late. So you won't know until you're in the job. I can see you not receiving, this is you represented by the Two of Pentacles. I can see you not receiving the job here with the little fish in the cup. That the person, the people you are working for, are unfortunately toxic. They are not great. They know that they come across as a little nicer or giving you an easy opportunity. You've known them for a while. They're a neighbor, or they're a family friend or something. They couldn't possibly screw you over. No, don't be silly. And they know that, and they know they can put you in a difficult decision, and there is a lack of care or concern. They don't really care. They just want you to do the job for them and do it for an unfair price, I might add. Now, the reason why you won't know it is let's say it's a dog walking position. They offer you $30 a day to walk their dog, right? But it's not until you get the job that they change the price. It's now $15. But they want you to come by and walk their dog 3-4 times a day. They're asking too much of you for an unfair wage. There's a lack of equality in both of these cards. Now, the good thing is that you will, in the Two of Pentacles upright, you're going to be fine. You're going to totally be able to handle it, and this is a juggling act because this is something that's going to consume a lot of your time and effort. So you get the opportunity to take these tests at work, but suddenly you have to study way more and take on way more than you had anticipated that isn't equivalent to the amount of money you're earning. It's a lot more studying that's really worth it. Same thing, you're coming by so many times a day, you're having it's interrupting your social activities. Maybe you're in school and it's interrupting that. Either way, you handle it, but it becomes a bigger time-consuming thing than you had planned. Now, the reason why this kind of comes your way is, yes, you are receiving some money, and that is positive. I do want you to connect to that. That's cool, you make some extra money. But it's a bit of a life lesson, know your worth type of situation, because at the end of the month, I kind of feel like it's going to be either right at the end of the month or going into November, like I'm getting like an early November sort of situation. You're going to be offered again, like, hey, do you want to watch my dog again? Hey, would you like to take more tests? And that's when you're going to want to speak up and say, like, nope, it's just not worth it. I know it's more money, but it's just not worth it. It'd be better if I either took care of myself or found opportunities to make extra money some other way, shape, or form, or how. And don't be afraid to say no. And definitely another reason why you're going to go through this is because you've gone through it once. If they try to barter and use against you, like, well, you don't know, it could be better than you think. You can be like, nope, I've experienced it, I'm good. I've already watched your dogs, I don't have to feel guilty. I've already done my part and helped out. Or I've already done the tests. I know I'm a little more knowledgeable than I was before. I'm good, I don't need it. You know what I mean? But either way, you will make some more money, you'll learn the lesson afterwards, you'll be able to handle it no problem. So it's not really that, like, big of a deal. Now, time for love. This is my air heart. Okay, we've got 10 of Pentacles upright, King of Wands in reverse, and Death. Okay, so we're going to talk about singles and couples, as you know, because these are general readings. So let's start off with singles. Oh my god, I keep hitting the camera. I'm so sorry about that. So, in the 10 of Pentacles, I can see you definitely meeting someone, and this is going to be really special for you. Now, it has hints of longevity in it, but keep in mind that because this is a smaller, more general reading, I am not saying this is your soulmate. This is your twin flame. This is the end-all, be-all. But on the other hand, it could be. It really could be, but just keep in mind this could be a very happy relationship you're in for a couple of years. Either way, this is someone that has very strong prospects of being more than just a simple fling or someone you're with for a short amount of time. But here's where the part comes in that's a bit of the hiccup, you could say. In the King of Wands in reverse, I can see that other people don't approve. You're definitely going to hear about it too. You're going to get some harsh criticism from others that have met this person. Now keep in mind, the interesting thing is we didn't get the Queen of Swords in reverse, so this is not gossip or hearsay. This is after people have met them, which is so interesting. I can't tell if the person you're dating is just very strong-willed and that's what kind of ignites the fire in people's, you know, bellies to get them so upset so quickly, because remember, you are just meeting them this month, and then as soon as you meet them, people don't like them. I mean, it's very fast and strong emotions. Or if the people that don't like them, maybe these are family members or friends, have their own personal problems they're kind of taking out on you and your relationship. It's coming from a form of jealousy, because that's often where this type of energy comes from. Now, with the Death card popping up here, look at the two doors going on. This is your kind of act for the month. You're both going to meet them, people aren't always going to like them, and you're going to have to kind of, you're going to need to make a decision that's kind of set in stone and laying down the boundaries with everyone. Do you take one door that is about you listening to everyone and saying, listen, I can't date you, I hear what other people have to say and I think they have a good point, I'm going to just go with what they have to say, I've heard them out and I agree? Or do you take another door and say, listen everybody, I don't care if you don't like this person, I'm into them and you're going to have to back off. It's my life, my decision, and I feel a connection with them too bad. So it's really going to be, you're going to want to make it very set in stone before it becomes more of a problem and a, what's the phrase? Something of contention, a stone of contention, a line of contention. You know what I'm saying. Now, couples. Couples is an interesting thing going on here. So we have you represented in the Ten of Pentacles. It looks like everything's going pretty well for you guys, which is awesome. But interestingly enough, in the King of Wands, again, this gets repeated, the idea of harsh criticism. It looks like your partner potentially could be really being picked on. I didn't get the Judgment card, so this doesn't look like you guys are going through a trial together against the world, being tested as a relationship. It just looks like there is some not kind things being thrown your partner's way, and it just really kind of, you care about your partner clearly. I can see the closeness of you two and the Ten of Pentacles. If your relationship's being depicted as the Ten of Pentacles, you guys are a pretty, close-knit operation, and it really brings you down and hurts you. But the cool thing about this is, while they might be experiencing this harsh criticism, and it's kind of overwhelming to see the person you love going through that, thankfully with the Death card being here, it's going to end. You don't even need to do anything. There's no advice to be done to do anything. It's just going to end on its own. It's going to be a natural ending. This bullying will run its course, and then your partner will be free to feel like their better selves, and then you can both feel great together. So this is over just saying like, hey, everything's great. If you feel this hiccup or you're currently going through this hiccup, it's going to end. No worries. So everything's all good for you guys. Now let's focus on spiritual. See what your spirit guides have to say. Let's see. The Empress. Interesting. Three of Wands in reverse. Eight of Swords in reverse. Interesting. Okay. It looks like, I can see here in the Three of Wands in reverse, there is something being miscommunicated through social media. I don't want to say someone's like gossiping or slandering you. I think there's just a lot of misunderstandings, and it's causing a bit of drama and feeling like a little bit of blockage for you. in the, it's so weird that that would come through in a spiritual spread, but I think it's kind of a comfort for you because you're being given sort of advice. I can see this here in the Eight of Swords in reverse, one that talks about how the idea that this is not going to be something that's going to be in your way forever within the same month that it's happening. It's also going to end, but it also is bringing up, and Spirit's letting you know that this is only as much as an obstacle as you let it be. Don't give it more power and strength. It's not really a problem. It's not really in your way. You don't have to take mind of anything anyone's saying, or if they're mad at you and you're like, no, you're misunderstanding me. Nope, just don't worry about it. You're gonna have to let them remember that sometimes people are working out their own problems, even if they brag and have a lot of ego and like to say, oh, I'm fine, you know, you're just jealous of me. They might be projecting what they don't actually feel and would like to feel. So there's the awareness that this is any obstacle this month that feels like an obstacle is only as much as one as you make it. So definitely take hold of your power and knocking down those swords and untying yourself. Be aware that these are just miscommunications. These aren't correct when there is a little bit of a tough or someone is saying something that isn't true, that it will get itself worked out, it looks like. But this is where, this is actually really sweet. I wonder why you're receiving this, because the Empress talks about in this situation that you should definitely take note of allowing yourself to be babied. Let someone take care of you. Give in. I know it's really hard for most of us to be vulnerable and to ask for that kind of comfort and help, but you're being told, like, allow yourself to be comforted. Allow yourself to ask for and receive help. It looks like you just kind of need a good hug and some time to feel rejuvenated by being loved and cared in kind of a very traditional childlike way. And you should definitely reach out to someone and be like, can I just have a hug and you take care of me and make me food tonight, please? This can be your mom, or this could be a friend or a partner. But it's not about, like, this usually never happens because Spirit obviously always wants you to grow and mature and find strength, but it's kind of giving you a moment this month to kind of just take a second and chill and kind of regroup and cocoon for a moment. You could see it that way. Definitely, oh, sorry, definitely the Eight of Swords in reverse for me is also a very cocooning type card, so very interesting. Okay, now for the, oh, I dropped some cards. Question mark part of the spread. Three of Cups upright, the Hierophants upright, Seven of Pentacles reversed. Wow, this really is interesting. So usually my question mark part of these spreads when it comes to monthly predictions is they tend to, by the question mark part of the spread, seem to wrap up in a full circle. Everything sort of seems to be related to the other one, but yours feel very separate, which is really interesting and cool. It's not a positive or negative thing, it's just that's how it is. You've got a lot of different things you need to be told and hear about. So I can see that it's going to be definitely a very fun social month, which is why the whole Two of Pentacles was popping in. So I guess that's a little bit of a full circle, talking about how you're definitely going to be very social and somehow you're going to manage this like fun, very social time period while dealing with that smaller job situation. So definitely have a good time, connect to that. I can see that you're developing a new skill in the Hierophants. Again, this does refer to your job sector, where it talks about you, whether this be the new test you take at the job and you're developing new skills, or maybe when you're out and about and you're spending time when you're walking dogs, wherever the smaller job is, you listen to some books on tape and you're developing some sort of ability or language. This is definitely a good month. There's a lot of, oh my gosh, I consider fall time period an amazing month to develop any sort of skills or abilities. It just seems like you have the best energy for it. You're more receptacle. I don't know what it is, but like the earth and the energy it has to offer at this time period is a great time period to take care of, or take note of that. So definitely take advantage of these things. But the thing that I think is most interesting here in the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, and it's a little bit of a slow down type of situation, again, referring to a lot of this. You know, actually, I take back what I said initially. This does very much resonate and fit with your sort of money section of the reading so far. This talks about how you need to be okay with that you might not receive the kind of results you want to receive this month for your hard work. So, you know, you might be learning this new skill here, and you just obviously feel like at the end of the month you thought you were going to be further along and you're not. You thought you were going to be earning the kind of money you wanted to earn in the job section reading, and you're not. You know, you didn't earn as much money as you thought you were going to. Either way, it's kind of an acceptance that, like, not a big deal. It doesn't mean it's not going to bear fruit in the long run. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean it's a waste. It just means you're probably not going to be as fast or feel as fulfilled by whatever you receive by the end of the month. But if you start to accept, like, hey, any little morsel I can receive, whether it be a skill or money or love, is all positive. I will accept it. Not every month is going to be the most amazing, fruitful month, and that's okay. So yeah, pretty good reading. Either way, if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It helps out like you would not believe. But either way, I am sending you good wishes, good vibes, all that good stuff. And let's get ready for group number three. Let's look at your October predictions, starting off with money. Your first card is Strength in Reverse. Sorry about this being so dark. I'll lift up the card and show you because of the sun glare. Your next card is, hold on, I'm getting, oh my god, I'm getting a really, really heavy vibe. Really heavy vibes coming in. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And your last card is Nine of Swords in reverse. I feel deeply sad and hopeless. Can just give me 1 second. I gotta regroup so I can do this reading, because I'm channeling this way too hard. Okay, I'm gonna do my best here. I'm just channeling this way too intensely, and all of these cards look so dark in the sun glare. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is a bit of a darker reading, but keep in mind that there is hope here. And there is an interesting option to see what can be there and how you can change it and use it to your advantage. So we start off here with the Strength card in reverse. This refers to a feeling of lack of confidence in your abilities. Maybe you feel that you're, you don't have what other people have to offer, or what you have to offer, you know, is just not good enough. This works in both, remember this is a general reading, so we're both talking about people that are unemployed as well as people that are currently employed. Maybe you feel that's the reason why you're not getting hired compared to other people you're up against when it comes to interviews. Or when you're employed, you feel that you're not able to move ahead or stand out amongst others because of this, and it's really getting you down. But there is hope with the Nine of Swords in reverse. I love the Nine of Swords in reverse. The Nine of Swords in reverse has weirdly become my best friend when I go into a reading, because compared to something like the Six of Wands, which is more about being defensive and for a good reason, you know, it's like somebody is going to attack you. There is something bad coming. You should be aware of it. You should defend it. You are feeling it, or you're going to have to step up to the plate. Nine of Swords in reverse is about this sense of anxiety and dread and fearing the worst, but the worst not actually happening. It's just in your head. It's just a perspective thing. You're letting it eat you alive. But there is something to take note here, that when the Nine of Swords pops up, it is also letting you know that, like, you need to change your mindset, not only to feel happier and have a better, you know, perspective on life, but you can start to kind of bring that towards you, and people can feel that. Think of like when you're on a date, and this is a lot to ask of someone, because again, if you have been unemployed for a while, and I kind of get the vibe, especially with the Ace of Pentacles being here, it has been some time, or we're using relationships in this way. So let's say you've been single for quite some time and you haven't found your special someone or anybody you would like to date. And how can you not go into a date being like, oh my god, please be the one? It's hard to separate that feeling. And sometimes people can feel it and they feel they want to push it away. It's too much for some people. And it kind of can turn them off. And that's why if you kind of go in with this sense of confidence of like, oh, I've got this, I'm where it's at, people are drawn to that. Again, that's a lot to ask of someone, but when the Nine of Swords reverse pops up, it's like, be note of that. Like, try to get out of your head. Try to be aware that you are overthinking your abilities. You are having a lack of confidence for no reason. Like, you can take more solace in that it is more in your head and you can work on that. Now, I can see a lot of it's coming from the Ace of Pentacles in reverse when it comes to an unemployed person. So, an unemployed person is going through, understandably so, because they don't have money coming in. But this talks about the idea of money going out faster than it's coming in, which makes sense. You're probably using your savings right now. Oh, it's so funny. I wasn't even thinking about it. I just touched this. This stone actually refers to financial, like, luck being thrown in your favor. That's so weird. That's probably a really good positive sign that I was just touching that. But the Ace of Pentacles in reverse talks about how you're probably going through your savings right now, and it's making you incredibly anxious and making you put more emotional weight on getting a job. And again, understandably so. Who wouldn't be in that sort of position or have that kind of perspective? But with the unemployed, or with the employed people, this refers to how, because you feel this way, you are depending a little bit too much on spending money and trying to find fulfillment and happiness as a form of distraction, because you're feeling overwhelmed at work and feeling kind of not, people aren't taking note of you as much as you'd like. You're feeling insecure when it comes to moving up, and you feel satisfied in the moment doing something that will instantly gratify you. That's the important thing to take note of, and you should be aware that you shouldn't do that. You're clearly not earning as enough money in comparison, and that's like a habit that will, make you feel kind of sad later on when you go back to look at your account and you're like, oh, whoopsie, I really shouldn't have been trying to fulfill my problems by spending that much money. So now the good thing about this reading either way is this is kind of different. Now I am trying to go for a predictions vibe here, but the thing is sometimes I find in tarot that when we're kind of, connecting to you and what you have, what you are going to tell me through the cards and stuff like that and your spirit guides, sometimes the strongest thing that comes through is a perspective or an emotional state. So this doesn't mean you're not going to get the job you want. This doesn't mean you're not going to move up or haven't been taken note of. It's that you're really going through the gigs right now, and here's some advice to overcome that and be aware of that. So I hope you consider that a helpful thing, and that it kind of like a note of positivity and hope around the corner, especially whenever I see the Nine of Swords in reverse. Now, let's focus on love. Now remember, we're doing a general reading here, so this is love for both singles and couples. Got the Hermit upright. Got the Two of Swords upright. And we have the Nine of Pentacles upright. Okay. Okay, so let's start off with single people. Every single card says you're going to be single this month. But it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing in the least. This one just straight up says it's just not going to happen right now. It's not anything bad. It's just, you're just not going to find it right now. Two of Swords talks about how it looks like there's a bit of indecisiveness when it comes to fully understanding and knowing what you want in a relationship. I don't think that's the wall and thing preventing you from meeting anyone. This is more of a universe sort of like it has nothing personally to do with anything you're putting out there. You just currently don't run into anyone right now this month. But it does want you to take, tarot does want you to take note of that when you go into relationships you meet in other upcoming months, this would be a good month to kind of consider like, well, when I want to date someone, how do I want them to be? And don't just focus on, well, I want them to be loving and smart. Get really specific. What do you want out of a relationship? Do you want them to work near you? Do you want them to be someone that helps out around the house with you? Be very specific and kind of get to know that while you have this time to kind of contemplate and regroup and be self-analytical. In the Nine of Pentacles, though, it looks like you're going to be totally happy and have a good month. It's not going to be a sad month being alone. Not that being alone is ever a negative thing, but Nine of Pentacles talks about being alone and being really, like, content with what you already have. So you're going to be totally fine. It's just kind of like, well, okay, no one's popping up. I'll just have some fun by myself and I'll have a good time doing it. Now, for couples, though, this is kind of interesting. It kind of is, again, about being isolated, but it isn't about being isolated as in breaking up. This isn't a breakup sort of thing. It looks like there's a problem in the relationship when it comes to the Two of Swords. It talks about someone who is not being very malleable. You're kind of running into your partner being stubborn. They're not willing to bend and make compromises in the relationship, and it feels a little bit of frustrating. Now, there is a bit of advice here, but there also is a bit of just natural it's going to work out the way it's going to work out to the benefit of both of you. So, while it is frustrating your partner right now isn't really kind of bending and kind of being the person you need them to be in the relationship to kind of work through a bit of frustration, it doesn't feel like the most serious thing in the world. It just feels like a little frustrating experiences. In October, there's going to be a lot of alone time between the two of you, or alone time separately from each other. Again, not as a breakup, nothing negative. The Hermit talks about being separated to kind of be more connected to your personal self, because when you feel more connected to yourself individually and they're more connected to themselves individually, when you come back as a couple, it's this feeling of like dating again. You're not so involved with each other's lives to the point that you're not able to see each other again as individuals to admire. So there's a sense of like regrouping and finding your inner confidence again, to have some nights where you're by yourself and you're just watching your favorite movie and they're out enjoying themselves. So it's a really positive, amicable, like, hey, how about we both have, you know, alone time, but like, you go do your thing, I'll go do my thing. We just both know we love each other and that we need some time to regroup and feel like our best selves. So it's a good thing, and it really kind of makes you feel closer as a couple by spending some time alone this month and really recharging. But definitely, I do want it to be known that this is a very open, agreed upon thing. It's not about any, you want to make it clear in the relationship that it's like, hey, I don't just, you know, we're not going to see other people. This isn't a breakup. This isn't you moving from the apartment or not seeing each other at all this month. It's just maybe we should also make note actively to spend some time to ourselves, and not with friends. I will note, if your partner is going to go hang out with friends, tell them they need to go do something by themselves and connect to themselves, because that will help them be a little more malleable and just in general have a better connection. But over here on the Nine of Pentacles, it looks like it's going to happen anyways, because it looks like there's some practical needs that need to be taken care of, in addition to just kind of like some spiritual, emotional. Oh my gosh, the sun just came out when I said that. Okay. This talks about like maybe they need to go earn some money, or they need to go hygienically clean themselves up and do whatever they need to do to be able to regroup. So it's more of a tangible, practical way of regrouping, and this is more of like a spiritual, emotional, uplifting type of regrouping. But either way, it just really is to the benefit of both you guys, and it's a very open conversation you will both have and agree upon. So now let's look into your spiritual side of October. Got Six of Wands upright. That's so funny you got the Six of Wands upright when we just talked about in the career part of the spreading. The Emperor in reverse, okay. And the Moon. The Moon, okay. I'm Supermoon. Hi, nice to meet ya. Okay, so this is some really cool, interesting, celebratory stuff. So I'll talk about a little bit of the negativity first, and then we'll move on to more of the interesting positive notes. So in the Emperor in reverse, this talks about you feeling like it's overwhelming to take on responsibility right now, which is understandable. Sometimes it's such a catch-22 being a human at times. It's like, so let's use your career thing as a metaphor. Maybe you want to obviously earn money and get the job that you want, but you've also been unemployed for maybe a little bit of time, and it feels overwhelming to suddenly take on all the responsibility and everyone depending on you when it comes to a new job. So there's this
weird feeling of like it's just not the right time. You're dealing with confidence and being in your own head sort of situation. And this is kind of Spirit acknowledging that and saying like, okay, don't rush it. Take your time, breathe, remove that pressure from yourself. It's understandable, it's okay. And there's a bit of interesting advice that's got a bit of a practical kind of touch to it that I love. So in the Six of Wands upright, this talks about celebrating yourself. This is about letting people know what you have to offer and in not only enjoying it yourself, but letting other people see that. So this can range from anything to boost your confidence, from like maybe you know how to play guitar, but you've never really talked about it with others. It's about sitting someone down and going, listen to me play this song. So it's like ego in a good way. And then going, wow, I didn't know you could play the guitar, and it makes you feel good and shows other people your abilities. But it's also about going up to an employer, again, this talks about the career reading again, and saying, listen, I know I'm good at this, let me show you it. And them going, huh, okay, I'm feeling your confidence, I see that you're feeling it too, I'm picking up on that, and I also can actually see that you can do the thing. In a relationship part of your spread, this goes perfectly, talks about showing your partner, like, look what I'm capable as an individual outside of the relationship, and feeling happy and good about yourself, and standing and feeling, you know, sexy and inviting in that way, and your partner feeling intrigued by that. So it's really, really just kind of demanding you to have fun with what you are capable of, and like letting others see that. But in the Moon card in reverse, this is really interesting. This is probably how you're going to be able to best find your next job, but also there's something kind of psychic happening for you appropriately this month. And I do say appropriately because this is October, this is Halloween, this is when the veil is thinnest. It's a really fun, good time for you. Well, the Moon card is about a couple things. So the biggest thing I want you to get from the Moon card is the idea of reading between the lines. So this is kind of what's on the under, level, under the surface of what's going on. So this can range from you paying attention to your dreams. You could be having prophetic dreams this month that will guide you in the right direction you need to and give you some connection and solace and direction. But this is also about paying attention to what people aren't saying. Being able to find a sense of direction and answers by understanding what they're implying, or again, like I said, what they're not saying, and what does that mean, which is really interesting. It's one of the more, it feels like you're going on a quest, if I do say so myself, which is really fun and cool. So really just like a happy, loving hug from your spirit guides after some tumultuous parts of the reading. Now let's look at your last part of the spread, which is the question mark part of the spread. Okay, we got King of Cups in reverse, Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and the King of Swords in reverse. All of these kind of are reiterating some practical and spiritual advice we've been talking about thus far. Wow, it's interesting. So much blue is going on here. Sorry, I'm like trancing a little bit. Sorry. When I do tarot, I'll like spirit sometimes like, oh, whoa, the light's going nuts again. Spirit will just kind of like take hold of me very intensely, and I'll like start to see like images and like trance out into cards. So I was just starting to trance there for a second. Sorry about that. I'm pulling back. I'm coming back. So anyways, King of Cups in reverse. In this sense, this is gonna, I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't sound so intense like the definition. This talks about being really focused on trying to find a sense of gratification or happiness instantly. And being, and obviously we're always as humans really focused on trying to be happy, but there's a level of quality or intensity here that's negative. It's like you're honing into it too intensely, expecting it right now, then and there, and there's a desperation feel about it. So obviously you want to be aware of that. You need to kind of pull back and do whatever you need to pull back to get out of that headspace. I can see it's definitely coming from the Knight of Pentacles because it talks about feeling stuck or a lack of progress. It doesn't necessarily mean that this month is going to be a lack of progress, but it can feel that way. That's what a keyword, you feel like you're stuck. You feel like, oh my goodness, I'm single, or oh my goodness, you know, I'm really in my own head about my abilities. But that doesn't mean you're going to be single next month, and that doesn't mean you can't get a job this month. So try to be aware if you're in a mindset of what you don't have or feeling stuck. Get out of there. You don't need to hone into that. You can choose to change your fate in that really positive way. But it is something that's like kind of a popping up, repetitive thing you're being told about to pay attention about. And in the King of Swords in reverse, this is just about your being aware of no, hold on, I'm just trying to think about this. It's talking about being aware of your shortcomings, but you know what? I know what this is about. Sorry that took me a second. I had to think about that. It's kind of like being aware of when you're not able to do something and you're not ready. Again, we talked about the burden of responsibility. We talked about insecurity. I think you're going to start to find a sense of healing and connection if you connect to the idea that I just can't do this right now. You know what I mean? I just can't do this. Sometimes that's like the first step of just being like, I need help. Can I have help? I can't do this right now. And I think you're going to find a lot of healing the sooner you connect to that. So, pretty cool. So much blue. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I'm just really thinking about the cards right now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this reading as much as I did. Consider giving it a like and subscribing. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Either way, I'm sending you the best, warmest of wishes and good vibes, and I will see you in the next one, but let's get ready. Group number 4, let's answer October predictions, starting off first with money, honey. Okay, we've got 3 of Swords upright. 5 of Pentacles upright. Oh, King of Swords in reverse. Someone's messing with you. You got a little mischievous person trying to mess with you, and don't worry, you'll be able to... Oh my god, that's so weird! That's so weird. Sorry, I just touched my pyrite. This is about unblocking things, and in order to be able to receive money. So, sorry, I subconsciously do that kind of stuff where I'm realizing right now this is... there's a potential after this month and dealing with this issue with more financial growth afterwards. That's so cool. Okay, so sorry. So let's focus on this obstacle though. So in the 3 of Swords, Spirit's telling me this is somebody you are friendly with. You do talk to them on a regular basis, and you're not best friends forever for sure. But this is somebody who are not fully anticipating being the person to go up to the boss unprovoked and tell them lies about you. They're telling things about, like, you go to the bathroom too much, or whatever would negatively affect you to be able to get more hours at your work, or get an opportunity to be seen as a possibility for more responsibility or promotion or something. Like, they're messing with your situation. This is definitely somebody who's petty, for sure. But there's a good sign of hope in a way of dealing with this problem, and something I want you to pay special note of in both of these cards. So the 5 of Pentacles is about somebody who's trying to shake up your situation and make you believe that they have the power, that they can take away your stable position of earning money. They can somehow negatively affect you getting that promotion, like I said, or being seen in a positive light by the people in power who can give you more power and money and position. Hours, we talked about this. This is a wide range. This is a general reading, so this ranges from anyone who is working a job that's more of like a cashier type of position, all the way up to some sort of office job where you're, you know, a lawyer or something like that. The keynote, they think they can do that. Pretend that they are the frog and you are little Alice over here. You can rip out of that grip, no problem. You can take on that frog. That obstacle in your way of making you, and we'll talk about this in a second, that you could get to, they're just making you think that that's not possible. It's totally possible. Just rip out of their arms and walk out the door. You do not have to deal with that. King of Swords in reverse talks about the strong need to and the strong possibility of being able to fix the problem and kind of reduce the damage they have put out there. Now keep in mind, this is not the type of situation you can just straight up be like, they're a liar, because you're gonna seem kind of immature. You want to come at this from a very calm, rational place of being like, I just want it to be known, you know, that I actually X, Y, and Z. I don't go to the bathroom a lot. Please consider this. I just want you to know that we're on the same page. La la la. This is a very mature sort of way of fixing the problem and dealing with whatever mess they've created. But for sure, this person wants you to think they have the power, that that isn't possible, that their damage they've done is irrevocable. So if it all seems like a bigger deal to you, it's not. You can handle it, and there is an opportunity to fix it and solve this issue going on. But forget them. Forget their drama. Okay, now let's look at love. This is my little air heart. See what's going on for singles and couples. We've got Page of Cups in reverse, Seven of Pentacles upright. Oh, and a Judgment card upright. Okay, this is pretty interesting. So we're gonna start off with couples first because I'm a little uncertain with singles. We'll talk about that in a moment. But anyway, starting off with couples first. So I can see in the Judgment card upright, you are unfortunately put into a position, we consider it a test from the universe, some sort of trial. I have a feeling this is the sort of trial, now this can be the trial where you're pinned against each other, or the sort of trial where you're pinned, that you and your couple have to deal with something together. But either way, it's the sort of thing that kind of tests your relationship to kind of be put into a position where you now need to go the next level by having a frank discussion. It's like forcing you to go to the next level. So this is when the Seven of Pentacles comes in. Like I said, this is the test and the trial in the Judgment upright that puts you and your loved one in a bit of a difficult decision to have certain discussions, which can be a good thing, because if you've been wanting to have these discussions, it's kind of the universe versus loving way of being like, I'm forcing you into this position. Now you're going to have what you wanted. So the Seven of Pentacles upright talks about you going to your partner and saying, I love you, but I want this, this, and this, and this. Or this is what I want out of the situation. This is how I want to improve. Now that we've experienced this, I'm suddenly aware of I want that, if that makes sense. But the key thing to note here in the Seven of Pentacles is this is somebody who is going up, telling their partner what they want, but then they have to be patient and wait for a response. The response will not be instant. In fact, actually, when I see the Page of Cups here in reverse and this little page being so distracted and turning away, I don't take that as a no, because they're not looking out away into the void and totally disinterested with what you have to offer. It just looks like something else is taking up their mental attention at the moment. So expect some sort of situation to go pop up after you guys go through that in the beginning of the month. You're going to be like, listen, this made me be aware of this. I want you to know I want this, and I will let you take time to answer and tell me what you think. But you're not going to get your answer this month, because this could refer to them being like, listen, I really got to sort some things out at work or whatever it is before they can respond to you appropriately. So don't take this as a note of sadness or that they're not interested in what you have to say. It's a hopeful message of saying you just gotta wait a moment, give them a second. That pause you feel, that's not a negative pause. So definitely you're just gonna have to wait it out for a second. And this is an opportunity and a moment of growth for you to kind of continue to build and become stronger, whether that you're already together in that sort of marriagey type of way and maybe you want kids, or maybe you're a couple and you're like, listen, I want to have that tough relationship. Do you want to build something together? Whatever that be. But for single people, it's kind of weird, because the Judgment card talks about how you're going to have to really want this person. And you're going to have to be put through a little bit of the ringer in order to get their attention, get them to be with you. But this is also a positive card that says, like, it's going to be worth it. You're going to want to do it because you will be happy with what you receive. But then this is where, I don't know, okay, I'll tell you what my hesitancy is. The Page of Cups in reverse for a single person talks about insincere affection. You know what I mean? And with the Seven of Pentacles kind of going towards the direction of Page of Cups, that makes me feel like this is almost a weird lesson to be learned by their insincere affection, because with Seven of Pentacles in a single person's reading, this talks about how, like, what happened needed to happen and was meant to happen. So part of me feels like you are going to need to work very hard to be with someone. Once you get to be with them, you know, after you work very hard and you get to be with them, they're maybe not as, you know, they're not really ready for relationships and they're not going to be what you necessarily want to be with. And that's good. This was a lesson to be learned about how you can make anything you want happen. So it's a weird one, because I don't think it's necessarily bad. I mean, maybe you consider this a thing. So you feel very empowered by how you make it happen. But in this insincere affection, this kind of makes me think about, you'll have a little bit of fun with them and enjoy the fun you have with them. But then the second you realize, oh, they don't really like me. Okay, good to know. And it is what it is. It's a blip, you move on. But either way, I mean, Tarot's being pretty clear. This was like a lesson to be learned, or a thing meant to happen. Sometimes, now remember, this is just a monthly reading. This is a general reading. I mean, it's not more of a specific thing. Sometimes, weirdly, when I'm reading private readings about soulmates and stuff like that, I will get cards that say, you're going to date someone before this other person because you need to either be slowed down by the universe to receive someone else, or you're learning some lesson before you can meet the other person. This could be your little blip or lesson before you get to the next more longer term or soulmate sort of connection. So definitely something to keep in mind. Very can-do-y. Now, let's look at your spiritual predictions for October. Oh my god, I just said can do. 7 of Wands in reverse. Really positive. Yes, this is a very can-do month for you. Wow, I love this. 9 of Cups in reverse. The Magician in reverse. Okay. Okay, so you have a very self-empowered, you can make it happen, create your own future sort of situation going on. But there's an interesting note thing happening here in the Magician reverse that we'll get to. So I'm going to tell these cards chronologically so it makes the most sense. So in the 7 of Wands in reverse, your spirit guides are saying, listen, if you want it to happen, you're going to have to make it happen yourself. We talked about that in the Judgment card popping up. If you want to fix the situation going on with your career, you got to do it yourself. Go, do not be afraid, just pop in there. You're more capable than you're aware of. Same thing with love. You're interested in them, don't wait for them to come around. Go make it happen. Go make, bring love to your front door, so to speak. 9 of Cups in reverse, though, says you're gonna need to, and this is kind of, Spirit's telling me that this is something that's, yes, advice for this month, but is a huge thing you're going to be going through in general over this next, year or two. This is kind of like your theme spiritually you're going to keep coming back to. 9 of Cups, and I'm referring to all of these, by the way. 9 of Cups in reverse talks about how you need to be able to understand, yes, what you want in life, but you're going to have to put it out there. You need to, again, this is a very can-do, do-it-yourself sort of attitude. You need to say, I want to be with X, Y, and Z. You need to put it out there in the universe, tell people you want it, make it be known in order to receive it. You can't just quietly go, why haven't I received it? You have to put it out there. So this is about working for it, this is about putting it out there. So intention and action. But, interestingly enough, the Magician in reverse kind of puts in a little bit of a note of you paying attention to, and I think this is important to you, because otherwise I don't know why it would pop up, but this talks about being aware of when you go to want and do things, being aware of your moral and belief system, Is this really what you want to do? Is this who you want to be with? I think that's why the whole insincere thing popped up with the romance type of situation coming in. once you got them, like, is this who you really want to be with? And you want to pay close attention to that, because not only is that just something that makes you feel more connected to yourself, but I'm just getting a really strong, like, positive, moralistic side to you. You really want to be a good person and do the right thing to your very core, even privately to yourself. This isn't about just treating people kindly. This is about knowing for yourself you did the right thing. And Spirit says pay attention to that. Because you can really make anything happen. But once you kind of get close enough and you can see it, you know, and you can look at all the details, is this the right thing? Are you following your own personal moral code? So, really interesting. Spirit has a lot of trust in you, which is really beautiful. That I almost feel like your mom just read you. Is that what you want to do? Your spirit just mommed you. You just got mommed by your spirit guides. Okay, so question mark. This is a question. Sorry about that. There was like a huge bang outside. I had to go see what it was. Now time for your question mark part of the spread. Okay, we've got Eight of Swords in reverse. I told you, Spirit has so much trust in you, and you really can make it happen for yourself, which is really beautiful. And they just want to keep reminding you that. I know this isn't the Spirit part of the spread, but it just keeps getting repeated so much in here. Okay, when cards get repeated multiple times, it's something to take note of. You got Judgment card upright again. Again, I might add. Definitely can-do sort of attitude. And your last one. I just said. Okay, so you are way more powerful and capable than you are currently aware of. So, Eight of Swords in reverse wants just to remind you that this month that if you feel any sort of imprisonment or obstacles, they are things that are only there if you see them as such. You can get out of them. You will be free of them. We talked about this in the career reading. You will get out of them, no problem. And you are capable of handling them and changing what feels like an obstacle to not being an obstacle. Again, very can-do. Judgment card upright in this way talking about you need to focus on whatever it comes to in life. You need to give it your all right now. This is a month when you can make a lot of stuff happen, and you know, sometimes we can really, you know, put ourselves out there and try really hard, and it's not going to add up to anything instantly right now. Judgment card upright says otherwise. Do it. Put yourself out there. This is worth a month of hard working and really caring and being passionate. And the Magician is just, first of all, what a cool looking Magician card, I might add. I love her. Love to be her for Halloween. Or maybe I'm her all the time. You don't know. The Magician card upright talks about, it's this loving way of tarot and spirit, I might add again, saying that everything you have right now, you have it. You don't need anything more. You don't need anything less. You are capable and able to make what you want happen in manifestation. This is about spells. This is about law of attraction. This is about all that good stuff. But this is your month. I mean, October is an amazing spiritual month. So take a hold of that. Make stuff happen. This is your month. Ask for the big stuff. Make what you want happen. Go for it. Whatever you believe in, however you like to go about it, focus on it. This is your month. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this reading as much as I enjoyed giving it. Consider giving it a like and subscribing. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Either way, I am wishing you the best, sending you the best possible vibes. I love you in the most platonic way possible. I will see you in the next one. Bye!